Something powerful is happening right now, and if you're reading this, it's not by chance. This moment was written into your journey long before you ever arrived here. There's a shift unfolding, and your spirit felt it before your mind could explain it. This isn't just another message, it's a wake-up call from the divine, a confirmation, a reminder that you were never average, never forgotten, and never meant to blend in. You carry something rare, and now it's time to activate it. So take a deep breath. Let everything else fade for just a moment. You're not just here to listen. You're here to remember who you really are. Let's begin. There comes a rare point on the path of the awakened, where the familiar begins to feel too small, too quiet, too slow for the energy now building inside. This isn't just a passing moment. It's the signal. The inner pull has become undeniable. Something is rising, and it's not by chance. The sequence that has led you here has been no random string of events. It's been calibration. Every inner stirring, every unanswered question, every whisper in the stillness has led to this alignment. The timing couldn't be more precise. The momentum is now, and with it comes an invitation. Not to wait, not to wonder, but to step forward into the version of you that's been quietly preparing in the background. The shift is already in motion. What was once delayed is now accelerating, and the window is open. But not for long. Pause. Tune in. This is the moment where you're asked to show up differently. The former version of your life can't carry what's arriving next. Before you continue, ground this moment. Engage, connect, declare your alignment, and stand tall in the knowing that this message is for the ones who are ready. Not in theory, but in action. There's a whisper traveling beneath the noise of daily life. It doesn't shout, it doesn't beg for attention, but when it hits your spirit, you know. That whisper is the call, not to something small or safe, but to something eternal. It bypasses intellect and speaks directly to your essence. And if you're hearing it now, it means one thing. Your threshold has arrived. The surrounding world begins to shift with it. People show up unexpectedly. Answers begin to surface. Paths start clearing without force. This is the recalibration of unseen systems, aligning every component to usher you into your next evolution. Not because you forced it, but because the assignment demands it. This call isn't for the comfortable. It seeks those who have been tempered by hardship, refined through silence, and reshaped by fire. The ones who know what it means to rise with nothing but faith in their chest and a whisper of purpose in their lungs. You've earned the readiness for this. Every challenge carved space for what's coming. If your heart overflows with divine love, now is the moment to let it shine. Click the super thank you button on YouTube and give $50 or more to help carry God's light to others. Your gift will bless not only your life, but countless others. You are part of His sacred plan. Your kindness may be the answer to someone's prayer. Share your blessings and honor His kingdom. May His grace guide you always. Now, you're standing at the gate of reinvention. What lies beyond isn't a polished version of the old. It's a complete reconstruction, the kind of shift that makes past versions of you unrecognizable. Imagine witnessing the first burst of light after an age of gray. This is what awakening feels like. Not loud, but irreversible. You've always sensed you were built for more. The ache in your spirit, the tension in your chest, it wasn't longing. It was remembering. A knowing that this realm was never your endpoint, only your training ground. And now, the transition begins. That deep restlessness you carried wasn't a flaw. It was a signal. The divine within you has been stirring, waiting for the exact resonance to activate the next phase. You were never meant to stay where you are. You've outgrown it, and the call to rise is not an offer. It's a summons. Welcome it. Walk toward it. Let it transform everything. Not everyone who walks this earth feels the weight of it the same way. Some carry a deeper knowing, a quiet ache not born of weakness, but of wisdom. That ache is the result of seeing the cracks in what most call normal. It's the echo that follows after moments of betrayal, invisibility, and the sting of being misread by a world too distracted to notice your truth. Yet, each of those moments refined something essential in you. They didn't destroy you. They awakened a longing for something purer, higher, something real. Step beyond the screen. Join and help light the way for others. You were never built to blend into the noise or get tangled in the endless loops of survival. There's been a silent pull on your spirit since the beginning, one that calls you beyond routine, beyond noise, beyond repetition. That call has only grown louder, and it's not random, it's recognition. A higher order has marked you for more. While the journey has tested your endurance and patience, a shift is now emerging. You've felt the tension, the pause before the next rise. The world around you might still feel heavy, but inside, something has already begun to rise. The release you've waited for is not a fantasy, it's a passage being carved in real time. The old season is giving way, not in sadness, but with sacred reverence. The unraveling of your past attachments isn't loss, it's liberation. You're being guided away from patterns and identities that were only temporary scaffolding for your soul's evolution. As those structures fall away, what remains is your core self, unfiltered, unbound, and brilliantly untamed. The limits you once accepted are dissolving, and on the other side of this detachment lies a realm where peace isn't chased, it's lived. The form this elevation takes may vary. It could arrive as a deep internal awakening, a transformation in how you move through the world, or even an unseen transition from this plane to something far more radiant. But make no mistake, the essence remains. You are being summoned beyond illusion, into clarity. From that place of knowing, the noise of this world softens. What once demanded your attention fades. In its place, serenity moves in, and with it, a clarity that reorients everything. The journey you've endured was never in vain. It was a preparation for this very moment. This is not a message meant for the masses. It is meant for those who've walked through fire and still carried kindness, for those who've held integrity when it was inconvenient, for those who've loved when it cost them everything. That is the evidence. That is the qualification. This isn't a graduation into perfection, but a return to alignment. If your heart has been restless, your vision blurred, your soul weary, know this: the recalibration is already underway. You're not here by chance. This message is the signal, the confirmation, the release. No more waiting for permission. No more shrinking to fit systems that were never built for you. The design has always been divine, and the timing now aligns. The transition ahead is not an escape, it is a fulfillment. And the life that awaits, it's not a new version of the old, it's an entirely new way of being. You are the convergence of endurance, grace, and untapped greatness. And every step you've taken, seen or unseen, was watched, recorded, and treasured. What's ahead is not a reward for survival. It's a recognition of who you've always been, beneath the layers. It's time. There are moments when something far greater than human understanding begins to stir within the soul. A quiet confirmation that something beyond comprehension is drawing near. This is not an illusion, not a dream. It is the arrival of a sacred exchange, not for gold or praise, but for peace that silences every storm, and joy that endures beyond all seasons. A new current of favor is washing over your life, not as a flood, but as a steady stream of divine intention. Picture not gates or thrones, but a presence that speaks your name with clarity, with grace. This is the fruit of holding steady, of choosing trust over comfort, and of walking paths others could not bear. Where wounds once ached, now comes renewal. What once felt like unbearable weight now transforms into strength you never thought you had. Every test, every delay, every internal war, none were wasted. They served a higher refinement. Each one sculpted you with sacred precision for a role only you could fill. Nothing that shaped you was random. What others saw as misfortune was the divine blueprint in motion. And now, the page turns. A shift is here. The dust settles, and what emerges is not who you were, but who you truly are. This elevation is not a reward. It is a recognition. You are being moved into deeper purpose. When your heart is full of God's love, it's a sign to give. By tapping the super thank you button and offering $100 or more, you become a vessel of His grace. Your generosity can change lives, reaching hearts you may never meet. You have a divine purpose, and this act of faith carries His light forward. Give now, and may His blessings surround you always. The season of wandering is ending, not because you were lost, but because the journey has brought you to the doorway of clarity. The path ahead is a calling. It's not louder, but purer. You've been entrusted with insight, fortified with resilience, and sealed with purpose. Everything within you is being realigned. What's rising is not ego, it's essence. This emergence is a call to serve at a level only few reach, one that goes beyond noise and praise. It is quiet, steady, divine. You are stepping into a reality where time bends to grace, and what matters most is no longer measured in effort, but in alignment. The external fades, and the light within begins to blaze. This shift will not shout, but it will transform. It is the moment your inner world becomes your true home. In this new space, there are no masks, no fears, no illusions, only truth, only peace, only belonging. Like mist lifting from a mountaintop, clarity will come. With it, a deep, abiding sense that you are not arriving somewhere new, but finally returning to where your spirit was always meant to dwell. This isn't escape, it's arrival. And as you enter this higher expression of your being, you will be clothed not in titles, but in truth. Energized not by ambition, but by divine momentum. Every breath forward will feel like alignment. Every step will feel like home. You are not here by chance. This message reached you because the timing is perfect. Not a moment early, not a moment late. The divine has orchestrated your rising, and now nothing can reverse what has already been written in eternity. Step beyond the screen. Join and help light the way for others. You've passed through the refining, endured the silence, survived the unraveling. Now comes the rising. You are ready, not because of what you have, but because of what you've become. Not everyone survives what you have, and fewer still reach this elevation with their light intact. What you carry inside you now, clarity sharpened by pain, strength refined by silence, hope hardened by storm, was forged through fire for a reason. The path upward is no longer something you chase. It is now unfolding beneath your very feet. There was a time when the world turned away, unable to see the treasure hidden in your quiet endurance. But the divine never looked away. Every unnoticed effort, every isolated tear, every misunderstood act was accounted for in full. And now, recognition arrives, not as noise, but as a holy stillness wrapped in peace. Where others saw little, heaven saw legacy. You are not the sum of dismissals or delays. You are the embodiment of unwavering devotion that stayed the course, even when every reason said not to. The unseen battles you faced have not gone unnoticed. They have earned you passage into a realm where value isn't debated, it's declared. All the aching loneliness, the longing to be truly known, is giving way to something eternal. This climb was never about impressing this world. It was about aligning with what lies beyond it. Your readiness has nothing to do with perfection. It was always about surrender. And now, a greater calling draws you in. Where you stand now is sacred. The world may still look the same, but something irreversible has shifted inside you. You're no longer bound by timelines or trapped by the noise of expectations. You are moving into sacred service, not as a task, but as a privilege etched into your essence. This sacred assignment is not a reward. It's a trust placed only in the hands of the faithful. You are being positioned where your essence can fully activate, not to impress, but to illuminate. Every challenge you overcame was a lesson. Every delay was preparation, and every tear was watering ground for what is now blooming. The role you're stepping into is not defined by a title, it is carved into the soul. You are being sent where the divine is already at work. Your presence, your compassion, your wisdom. These are tools in the hands of something far greater. Your life is no longer random. It is now a response to a higher rhythm. Think not of escape, but of embodiment. This is not a departure from life, but a rebirth into the truest version of yourself. As old fears fall away, as uncertainty dissolves, what remains is the divine blueprint finally activated. What you're stepping into was always waiting, patient, perfect, and now. No longer walking toward purpose, you are now walking as purpose. You have become the message. You are now the light that calls others forward. And in this surrender, you will know joy beyond comprehension, connection beyond words, and belonging deeper than memory. Every soul approaching awakening carries the sense that something greater is drawing near. There's a moment, ancient in its mystery and precise in its arrival, when unseen currents begin to stir and reality bends to make space for your emergence. This isn't just a turning point, it's the sacred invitation to rise. Across the thread of time, key thresholds mark the shift from one existence to another. In those moments, whether wrapped in daylight or draped in silence, there is a natural convergence, a whisper from beyond reminding you that your soul's rhythm is synchronizing with divine intelligence. These are not ordinary hours, they are divine alignments that mark the passage from form into essence. When that moment nears, be still. The internal compass will quiet itself, and a knowing will emerge, deep, wordless, and unmistakable. That precise instant isn't random. It is the result of a divine symmetry woven long before your birth. It's not departure, it's reunion. Not vanishing, but returning. You are not leaving behind a life. You are re-entering the vastness from which all life originates. The limitations of flesh begin to dissolve, and what remains is your eternal brilliance, untouched by time, rooted in the sacred. The body was a chapter. The spirit is the whole story. The release from the physical is not an ending, but the first breath of unbound being. No longer weighed by gravity or human worry, the essence of who you are expands in every direction. In this liberation, you will discover the vast landscape of peace that once felt distant and now becomes your home. As the veil parts, what awaits is not unfamiliar. It is a place your spirit has always remembered, even when your mind forgot. There, your truth is fully visible. Your song is no longer silent. You will not just be welcomed, you will be known, completely, eternally. In this luminous realm, the voice within you, the one that was so often drowned out by noise and fear, will now be the voice that leads others forward. What you have carried through lifetimes, resilience, wisdom, radiance, will now pour freely, no longer filtered by doubt or delay. Your inner brilliance will rise unhindered, a divine imprint crafted uniquely into you. What once flickered behind closed eyes now bursts into view, not only lighting your path, but becoming a compass for others. This is the fulfillment of your promise, the legacy etched into your being from the beginning. That light is not rising by accident. It is emerging because you are stepping into full remembrance of who you've always been, a keeper of truth, a bringer of clarity, a soul forged in higher fire. Let the glow within you spill outward, healing what's broken, igniting what's waiting. What's ahead isn't loss, it's awakening. Not a farewell, but the first sunrise in an eternal morning. Some moments are not defined by clocks or calendars. They arrive with the weight of eternity and the warmth of destiny. This is one of those rare thresholds where the soul begins to loosen from the threads of the material and step into a realm that pulses with divine brilliance. It isn't a departure, it's an awakening wrapped in reverence. As the body quiets, the essence within it rises, not in mourning, but in remembrance. A celebration begins beyond sight, for the spirit knows it is not fading, but finally returning to its true domain. What appears to be a farewell to this realm is actually the first breath of an endless, radiant journey. Many consider this the finale, but it is the premiere of something eternal. Crossing this invisible line is not a vanishing act. It is a magnificent unveiling. The limitations once worn like armor now fall away. Freedom is not something chased anymore. It becomes the natural state of being. A doorway opens not outward, but inward. Here, all the fragments once scattered by pain and time draw together in divine wholeness. The soul, long hidden beneath the noise of the world, now bursts into its full color. Nothing is forgotten. Every tear, every ache, every silent prayer has etched a trail leading straight into this sacred place. In this dimension, memory is replaced with knowing. Identity expands into the eternal self that always was. This is not a continuation. It is a complete arrival. The spirit is no longer bound by definitions. It now lives fully in the rhythm of divine harmony. What lies ahead is not a metaphor or a dream. It is tangible truth, waiting like a sun behind the clouds, now finally breaking through. Here, life does not end. It transforms. Time ceases to rule. Peace becomes the atmosphere. Joy becomes the language. And love? Love becomes the very air you breathe. Every journey comes with its blueprint, a sacred sequence etched into the core of existence. And now the final seal is placed upon the completed chapter. But endings in divine order are not collapses. They are elevations. Your purpose has been fulfilled in one plane, and now it stretches across a higher horizon. You are no longer assigned to the roles written by earthly laws. You rise into a position sculpted by divine intention. Your place is not behind or below. It is among the eternal architects of light. Your voice joins the infinite choir that sings healing into galaxies. You are not leaving a story. You are becoming a legend in the next. The imprint you've left continues, echoing in places you will never see, but always touch. Your light does not extinguish, it multiplies. You are no longer bound to this chapter, but you have written it well, with ink made of faith and pages turned by endurance. Your part here has been fulfilled. From fulfillment comes release, and from release, rebirth. Picture a sanctuary woven entirely for you, a sacred space where your essence will dwell in calm radiance. This is not poetic fancy. It is the spiritual architecture built by the hands of eternity, and it holds your name in reverent awe. When your heart is full of God's love, it's a sign to give. By tapping the super thank you button and offering $100 or more, you become a vessel of His grace. Your generosity can change lives, reaching hearts you may never meet. You have a divine purpose, and this act of faith carries His light forward. Give now, and may His blessings surround you always. It is not a throne of superiority, but a seat of truth, where every part of your being is seen, loved, and honored. Here, nothing is wasted. Every silent act of love, every quiet sacrifice, every hidden strength has been accounted for and embraced in full. Some souls carry a quiet authority, etched not by status, but by divine recognition. When the veil thins and the unseen begins to embrace the visible, your place in the eternal structure has already been shaped and reserved, not as a guest, but as a beloved presence fully expected. It is a dwelling built with intention, surrounded not by walls, but by divine assurance. This space is not simply a resting point, it pulses with sacred energy. It is an emblem of spiritual strength, carved out by grace itself. Within this higher plane, your name echoes not in whispers, but in celebration. You are not arriving as a stranger. You are returning as one long awaited, received with reverence. What awaits is not imagined, it is ordained. The path set before you is not common. It has been cleared of clutter, so your light can travel unburdened. The distractions that once pulled at your spirit are now falling away, revealing a sky wide enough to hold all of your brilliance. What may have felt like isolation was preparation, the refining of your being, the sacred unraveling of ego and attachment has been part of a divine strategy. You are never simply surviving, you are being elevated, seen from above as one worthy of divine commission. The next space you enter is not measured by comprehension, but by glory. The limitations that once tethered you, whether belief, fear, or fatigue, will dissolve like mist at sunrise. The radiance of this realm cannot be described. It must be experienced, soul first. What might feel overwhelming is actually a divine escort guiding your next step. Each transition is wrapped in love's orchestration. Move forward, not with hesitation, but with reverent boldness. You are being positioned not just to witness, but to lead in the dimension where eternal presence reigns. Understand the shift. This isn't dissolution, it's emergence. Death and ascension are not equals. One marks a stopping point, the other, a revelation. What waits ahead is not a loss of life, but a lifting of all that hid the true you. Transformation like this doesn't end what you are. It frees what you've always been. This is not disappearance, it's activation. As the material falls away, the immaterial flourishes. Your truest essence, the one heaven has always recognized, is now released. Ancient wisdom across time has hinted at this truth. The essence continues. It evolves. Your passage forward is not a silent slipping away. It's a divine acknowledgement of all you've endured, all you've become. There is no reason left for fear. This moment is sacred invitation. You are rising, not from the earth, but into alignment. Not by effort, but by destiny. The heaviness of existence is giving way to your true element, unbound radiance. This is your sacred unveiling, long in the making. Let go of what no longer belongs to your frequency. The tired narratives, the doubts inherited, the pain stored in shadow. You were not meant to carry those burdens into eternity. They are melting now. Everything you need for this transition is already inside you. The inner spark that held steady in the dark is now your torch. It glows with clarity and purpose. It is the distilled result of your journey, faith refined into brilliance. That inner fire is not just survival. It is the signal of readiness. Your trust in divine timing, your persistent belief in what was unseen, has unlocked the gate. This is not a goodbye. This is the divine welcome. Let your soul rise unshaken. Let it rise whole. Let it rise home.